Tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu, Kenya tunayoipenda, Kenya nchi tunayoipenda.
Vile nilikuwa nikiwaambia, kuna wapenzi wengi wakazi wa Kisumu wanapenda sana hiyo.
The second governor of Kisumu County, the Professor, His Excellency, Peter Anyang Nyong'o. Bravo! Bravo! Bravo for what you have done to our county. Thanks for the good fight. Continue fighting the liberation for our county, Kisumu.
Napiga makofi pale na kufurahia.
As we reflect on the selfishness of that generation of yesterday, it not must be lost to any of us that effort is something that we must today recapture to improve the lives of our people in Kenya today. The politics wa ubinafsi, the politics of ukabila na siasa ya ubaguzi haiwezi kusaidia sisi kama Wakenya tukitaka kuendeleza nchi yetu, kumaliza ujinga, kumaliza ugonjwa na kumaliza umaskini. Kama alivyosema mzee Jomo Kenyatta wakati alikuwa katika mstari wa mbele kupigana uhuru ya nchi ya Kenya. Therefore, we must seize this day to reflect on the past and visualize the future. Refuse to be consumed by our petty, selfish differences and hold a common interest that will save this nation. I make this statement because this county is faced with two choices. The choice to be one, or the choice to be divided, on lines that will never, and I say never, help us go forward. That reflection should make us all aware of our responsibilities. As government, it must not be lost to any one of us in government that ours is facilitate and enable development. It is therefore incumbent upon us to come up with policies that are responsive to the messages being sent by the citizens to us. Policies that will satisfy legitimate citizens' needs and interests. Because today we share the same dreams which can be summarized as eradication of illiteracy, poverty, and sickness. Dreams that will only be achieved through focused development and effective people-centered development and governance. The strength and courage of our people has over time been exhibited in their resilience and determination to survive and thrive through challenging circumstances. Ours as a government can only be to provide a facilitative environment to exploit the full potential of our people. It is for this reason, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to thank most sincerely the national government, through His Excellency the President, Uhuru Kenyatta, for granting us 23 acres and 350 million shillings to build what is now called the Uhuru Commercial Park. A revolutionary market to accommodate over 10,000 small traders. A market where our people will trade with dignity and secured security. A market that will liberate our traders from cartels and weather vagaries. A market that will catapult our small traders from just being hawkers to small and medium enterprises. A market where the Juakali sector will have the infrastructure needed for innovation, growth, and possible expansion into big business. A market where Kisumu will realize the Tatas of this world and the Toyotas of this world. As we build the special economic zone in Miwani, ladies and gentlemen, we must note that that special economic zone will not prosper without our own innovation in the way we do business in the county. We must congratulate Kibos Sugar Mills for the diversification they have done in using byproducts of sugar for industrialization, using cabas to make paper, using sugar to make alcohol and other things. This is what is called industrialization, not just producing table sugar that any factory on the face of the earth can produce. We therefore urge the national government that as we conceive the special economic zone, let us take into account industries which are already here to be part and parcel of that special economic zone. Our country is faced with global challenges, including global warming, that requires the attention of all nations. Climate change, ladies and gentlemen, is a reality, and its effects are already here with us, as you can see these past few weeks. Its adverse effects continue to virtually affect literally every human on earth in increasingly severe ways. The extent of each consequence depends on our collective choices, making it one of the most urgent issues facing humanity today. As the world warms, it is expected that the ocean waters will rise, disrupting and damaging coastal communities around lakes or along the coast, destroying homes, roads, and various forms of livelihood. Kenya is already experiencing these devastating effects. Our citizens are greatly affected by the rising floods and the massive landslides. No doubt the effect and the outcome of global warming. As you may be aware, climate change is also linked with heavier and more frequent rainfall, leading to destructive inland flooding. The torrential rains continue to wreak havoc across the East African region, with devastating destruction of homes and infrastructure. Both the Kenyan highlands and lowlands have not been spared. West Pokot and the areas around Murang'a, the coastal region have been hit hard with this landslide, leading to hundreds of deaths. Our own people in Nyando, in Muhoroni, in Kisumu East, in Kisumu West and Nyakach have also not been spared by the raging floods, not to mention a few rivers in Seme that have gone down with a few of our people dying because of that flood. So far, ladies and gentlemen, over 10,000 families have been affected with 4 lives lost. We have since set up an evacuation center that my deputy governor mentioned across the sub-counties to accommodate the affected people. These include Ogenya, Nyamasao, and Achuodo in Nyando and Moroni counties. In Nyakach, West and North Nyakach wards have also been greatly affected, with residents being relocated to centers in Rai, St. Alois, Kanyalwal, and Alendu in North, as well as Nyong'O'S, Nyadina, Obange, Nyakoda, and Nyakweri. Ladies and gentlemen, a multi-agency approach is crucial to be able to handle the effects of global warming and be able to make our nation and the world food sufficient. To tackle this, we need the support of every nation, as scientists have concluded that in order to avoid the worst impacts of climate change, we will need to limit global warming to 1.50 centigrade to 2 centigrade. The good news is that we have solutions and there is still time to act. We can do it. As an administration, we have initiated various mitigation measures to help address the effects of global warming. These include desilting and erecting embankments along river beds in flood-prone areas. Plans are also underway to construct a 4-kilometer dike along the River Nyando with the support from the national government. Other efforts include the creation of a county disaster coordinating team to ensure a more harmonized response structure, distribution of food and non-food items, organized medical camps, creation and activations of support from the business community, as well as creating awareness to sensitize the locals on what they need to do when faced with this menace. In this regard, I'd like to thank the local vernacular radio station for taking this issue seriously and always making our people aware what is happening in the ground. I'm in discussions with the Dutch government to explore more lasting solutions to this problem, which is likely to be with us for a long time. Next week, we shall have a visit here by members of the UN Habitat and UN Environment to come to Kisumu to help us survey this possibility of getting a support from the Dutch government, a country which is experienced in floods by their very nature. So we hope that from this discussion, we may come up with a much more long-lasting arrangement for controlling floods along the River Nyando. But it is not left on us, it is not lost on us, ladies and gentlemen, that the most long-lasting solution is to build the long-awaited Koru Soin multipurpose dam, which will discipline the waters from the River Nyando. This dam was conceived in 1951 by the colonial government, and its building has been postponed from time to time. It is now time, and I want to appeal to the national government, that the Koru Soin multipurpose dam is erected to respond effectively to global warming and to control the River Nyando, the friendly river throughout the year. In order to complement our efforts, I want to make a special appeal to members of the public to come together and assist our victims. Kindly note that we have since set up a tent at this sports ground where well-wishers are encouraged to donate food and non-food items such as water. Much appreciation goes out to our partners and individuals who are helping us plan, coordinate and raise funds and donate various emergency support items to help our brothers and sisters. My appreciation goes out to the Red Cross of Kenya, UNICEF, Plan International, World Vision, SWAP, McKinney Schools, and the national government, the County Department of Disaster Management, and the group coordinated by Dr. Manga, who have volunteered to help us in implementing this problem. Their coordinated efforts have reduced the effects of the current floods, which would have been quite devastating. I must also congratulate my directors for special programs, Madam Ruth Odinga Busia, who has been on the ground consistently when these floods started, coordinating the people working in the field, plus those who have come, like Dr. Manga, a few days ago. I am sure that together we shall win. Ladies and gentlemen, Kisumu is poised for greatness, especially the new developments around the city, including the modernization of Kisumu Port and the impending construction of a special economic zone by the national government. All this development points out to one major thing: Kisumu's emerging position as a key player in the region's economic growth and integration. We didn't lose the opportunity when we were in Kigali for the Kusi Ideas Festival to showcase Kisumu in this Eastern African region and to plan a meeting of all the towns and cities and ports around the lake from Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya very soon, so that all of us can focus on the modernization of Lake region within Lake Victoria, within the context of the East African community. As a people, we must rise and take full advantage of the numerous opportunities provided by these new developments. There will be numerous opportunities for employment and investment across the county and the region at large. To implement this effort, ladies and gentlemen, as a government, we embarked on the special planning of the city and its satellite towns in a bid to improve physical planning. We intend to speed up the process and complete all the plans to improve service delivery and spur infrastructural development up to the sub-counties. I held a meeting yesterday with planning systems and Group WIT in their offices in Nairobi, and I'm satisfied that by March, this process should come to fruition. These developments will allow the towns to access urban development and attract resources. Other infrastructural and planning projects include the Kisumu Informal Settlement Program, KISIP, a collaboration of the county government and the State Department of Housing and Urban Development, where Kisumu benefited from KISIP 1, where survey and planning of various settlements was undertaken. We are at the final stage of negotiation for KISIP 2 that will include major infrastructural development in the informal settlement that will see infrastructure, roads, sewages, water development, and electricity distribution enhanced to a new stage in the informal settlements of Obunga, Manyata, Nyalenda, and so on. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the attainment of the President's Big Four agenda requires collaboration of all of us. We must not relent, but stand together with the President, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who saw it proper to unite and provide an enabling environment for this nation to thrive. All of us in all our areas of work must practice due diligence. As an administration, we welcome like-minded partners and investors to join us in the 4 areas, including manufacturing, food security, affordable housing, and affordable healthcare for all. Kisumu has huge potential for investment and must take advantage of the opportunities presented to us. The time for planning is over. The period of implementation has arrived. I'm therefore urging all our ministers that in the new year, we must see the ground broken in every area of initiative that lies within this 4-point agenda, particularly in the area of affordable housing. In all these, my fellow countrymen, we must not forget to include one very critical resource, that is the youth. The youth dividend is key to our prosperity. The young people are the center of driving force at the center of the agenda of development across the world. And we must not be left out in enjoying the benefits of this great resource. Therefore, there's need to evaluate and question ourselves on how best we can empower the youth to enable them occupy their rightful place in the development of our nation. We will, within the coming year, open the Business Incubation and Innovation Center somewhere near the Social Center, which is already complete. I am appealing to the youth as potential entrepreneurs to make full use of this Business Incubation and Innovation Center when it opens. As I come to a close, ladies and gentlemen, let me also remind ourselves that in order to achieve the Big Four, we must win the war against graft, or else we shall be working hard to enrich only a few individuals. We have to join the President again in castigating the vice and stop defending those accused of engaging in corruption. We must not be afraid of being whistleblowers if we want to save our nation from going backwards and not going forward. The perpetrators are our friends, our colleagues, and family members, and we must be the ones to expose them. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we are all aware of the Building Bridges initiative. The report is out. I want to take this opportunity to encourage all of us to read it, understand its content, and not be swayed by individuals who are opposed to the development of this nation. Let us all in one accord commit to rid this great country of the previous evils of hatred, ethnicity, and corruption that has held us back from developing this nation to a better future. Finally, my fellow countrymen and women, I want to end this address not only by wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New 2022, but, and I want you to listen to this but I also have very good news for you. Tega masikio. The good news is that at its global convention in Bogota, Colombia, UNESCO has decided to declare Kitmikai a World Historical Site for the preservation of Luo cultural life forever. This is the result of the very impressive presentation that our own Minister for Culture, Madam Achi Alai, made at that meeting after my government has pursued this matter for over 2 years. This means that we as a county must realize our culture is important for development. A nation that ignores its culture will ignore its history. A nation that ignores its culture will deny the opportunity of many people who are talented to enlighten society, to entertain society, to give wisdom to society in literature, poetry, music, and dance. And therefore, what we have done for Kitmikai will remind our children and grandchildren that our culture was rooted in a 3-story rock where many, many cultural rites have been practiced of importance to the development of our people. We must therefore develop Kisumu as a conference and tourism destination, not only for the coming Afisitis or the Kusi Festival, but for many more conferences and meetings that will be held here, where we don't confine people to the meeting rooms, but they can go out and taste our food, dance our music, visit centers like the Omieri Center in Nyakach, the Gor Mahia Center also, and these are places that we must develop for tourism this coming year, not yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, each one of us needs to be an ambassador for Kisumu. If we are not an ambassador of Kisumu, Kisumu will not be known. Therefore, I want you all to commit ourselves to be proud of our county, to sing its songs, to stand up to defend it. Unless we do this, nobody else will do it for us. And the time is limited. Some of us may not be with you for too long, but while we are here, where we are in this world, let us make sure that we do our best to improve our society. This is what made us committed to fight for democracy in this nation. The fight for democracy is still on, but democracy without development is not going to be put food on our table. Therefore, economic reconstruction in Kenya as well as in this county is important. I'm therefore appealing to the Treasury and the national government. Let us all have a very productive and useful discussion about funding the counties. Let us not repeat the history of 1964 when regional governments were folded up because the national government or the Treasury denied them funds. Fortunately, this time we have a very resilient constitution, and I hope by each of us bearing our responsibilities at the national and county level, this crisis that we are now facing, an artificial crisis you ask me, will be over, and we shall make sure the resources of this nation are used accountably, honestly, at both the national and county government. Madwana na mabibi, fellow countrymen, mimi ningependa kutoa shukrani kubwa sana nyinyi ambao walikuja hapa mapema na wamekaa hapa mpaka nyinyi wanachoka. Lakini nadhani ya kwamba tulisikia maneno matamu, maneno ambaye yanaweza kutoa nyoka pangoni. Kwa hivyo, hebu tuende nyumbani leo tukijua ya kwamba jukumu letu kama Wakenya, kila mtu ambao wako, jukumu letu ni kuendeleza nchi yetu. Kufanyani kazi kwa bidii kuhakikisha kwamba yule neighbor yako, yule jirani, is as important in the construction of this nation as yourself. Therefore, tafadhali tuwache kando siasa ya ubaguzi, tuwache kando siasa ya ukabila, tuwache kando siasa ya ubinafsi, tuwache kando siasa ya ulokoseni. Hapa Kisumu tuna hii siasa mbaya kabisa. Tunasema kwamba hata mimi natoka Seme, natoka nini. Ukiangalia mapi ya Kenya, hakuna mtu ambaye huko Lodwa ambaye anajua Seme yuko wapi. Lakini wanajua Kisumu iko wapi. Kwa hivyo, hebu tushikane mkononi kama watu wa Kisumu, tukifuata sheria nzuri na mipango sawasawa maendeleo, tujenga kaunti yetu. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.